Elton John and Princess Diana shared a bond that transcended the glamorous veneer of their public lives, one forged in vulnerability, laughter, and mutual understanding. Their friendship was not merely a matter of circumstance. It was a profound connection between two individuals navigating their own storms in the relentless glare of the public eye. Decades after Diana's untimely death, Elton John has spoken out, revealing layers of their relationship that challenge everything we thought we knew. His revelations provide a window into their remarkable bond, shedding light on both the joy they shared and the unrelenting pressures that tested their friendship. Their story begins in 1981, at Prince Andrew's 21st birthday celebration, a grand event steeped in royal tradition and formality. For Diana, this gathering symbolized her induction into the royal world, a life she was still learning to navigate. Engaged to Prince Charles and thrust into the spotlight, Diana felt the weight of expectations pressing down on her. Amidst the rigid atmosphere of the event, she found an unlikely kindred spirit in Elton John, already a global sensation. Elton, known for his flamboyant personality and larger-than-life charisma, recognized in Diana something few others did at the time: a spark of humanity and a longing for authenticity. Their first interaction was marked not by royal protocol, but by spontaneity. As the band played a lively Charleston, Diana stepped onto the dance floor and extended her hand to Elton. What followed was not just a dance, but the beginning of a friendship that would span years. For Diana, it was a brief moment of freedom in a world that often felt suffocating. For Elton, it was the start of a connection that would become one of the most meaningful relationships of his life. Over time, their bond deepened, built on a shared understanding of the unique pressures they faced. Diana, despite her public image as the quintessential fairy tale princess, struggled behind the scenes. Her marriage to Prince Charles was fraught with difficulties, leaving her feeling isolated and trapped. She battled bulimia, a manifestation of the immense pressure to maintain an image of perfection. Elton, too, was no stranger to struggles. Behind his glittering persona was a man grappling with addiction and depression. Their friendship became a sanctuary, a space where they could be honest about their fears and vulnerabilities. Diana often turned to Elton during her darkest moments, confiding in him through late-night phone calls. He listened without judgment, offering her a rare sense of understanding and empathy. In return, Diana brought joy and lightness to Elton's life, sharing laughter and humor that cut through the heaviness of their individual struggles. They supported each other in ways that went beyond mere friendship. They became each other's lifelines. Yet their friendship was not without its challenges. The pressures of royal life, combined with the scrutiny of the public eye, created tensions that neither could fully escape. Diana's growing popularity in the 1980s became a source of contention within the royal family. Her warmth and relatability endeared her to millions, but it also highlighted the stark contrast between her openness and the royal family's reserved demeanor. Charles, in particular, reportedly struggled with Diana's global adoration, which often overshadowed his own efforts and contributions. Elton's presence in Diana's life added another layer of complexity. Known for his boldness and unwavering commitment to causes like AIDS awareness, Elton represented a challenge to the royal family's preference for discretion. His flamboyant personality and outspoken nature clashed with the monarchy's traditional image. This tension came to a head when Elton asked Diana to write the introduction for a coffee table book supporting his AIDS foundation. Diana initially agreed, recognizing the importance of the cause, but later withdrew her support, reportedly under pressure from Charles and the palace. For Elton, Diana's decision was a painful blow. It felt like a betrayal, not just of their friendship, but of the shared values they had championed. The incident marked a turning point, creating a rift that neither fully addressed. Diana, caught between her loyalty to Elton and her royal responsibilities, faced an impossible choice. Her withdrawal was not a reflection of her feelings for Elton, but a concession to the constraints of her role within the royal family. Despite the strain, their bond remained intact in its essence. In 1997, their paths crossed again at the funeral of their mutual friend, Gianni Versace. Sitting side by side, they shared their grief, a poignant reminder of the connection they once shared. Diana's death just weeks later was a devastating loss for Elton. He had only just begun to rebuild their friendship, and now she was gone. Her passing left a void that no one else could fill. Elton's tribute to Diana at her funeral became one of the most iconic moments of his career. Performing a reworked version of Candle in the Wind, he poured his grief into the song, creating a global anthem of mourning. The performance was more than a farewell. It was a declaration of the profound impact Diana had on his life and the world. For Elton, it was a deeply personal moment, a way to honor a friend who had touched countless lives. In the years following Diana's death, Elton remained committed to preserving her memory. He supported her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, and continued to advocate for causes she cared about. His decision to speak out about their friendship years later was driven by a desire to ensure that the world remembered Diana not just as a princess, but as a compassionate, resilient woman who made a difference. Elton's revelations also shed light on the immense pressures Diana faced within the royal family. The fairy tale narrative of her life often obscured the reality of her struggles. The public saw a glamorous princess, but behind the scenes, Diana grappled with feelings of inadequacy and isolation. The constraints of royal life, combined with the constant scrutiny of the media, took a toll on her mental health. Elton's reflections serve as a reminder of the human cost of living in the spotlight. Their friendship, though tested by external forces, remains a testament to the power of genuine connection. It was a bond that transcended the barriers of fame and status, rooted in mutual respect and shared vulnerability. Elton's decision to share their story is a way of keeping Diana's legacy alive, ensuring that the world remembers the woman behind the crown. As the years go by, the story of Elton and Diana continues to inspire, reminding us of the importance of compassion and understanding in a world often defined by its harsh judgments. Their friendship, marked by laughter, heartbreak, and resilience, is a powerful example of the enduring strength of human connection. Through Elton's words, we see a side of Diana that was often hidden from public view. A woman who, despite her struggles, remained a beacon of hope and kindness. Her legacy lives on, not just in the hearts of those who knew her, but in the countless lives she touched. Elton John has transitioned into a new phase of his life after completing his farewell Yellow Brick Road tour, which marked the end of an unparalleled live performance career spanning more than 50 years. The tour, which began in 2018 and concluded in 2023, became one of the highest-grossing tours of all time, reflecting the lasting impact of Elton's music and his enduring popularity across generations. His decision to retire from touring was not due to a loss of passion for music, but rather a commitment to prioritize his personal life and spend more time with his family. Elton has expressed his deep desire to be present for his two sons, Zachary and Elijah, whom he shares with his husband, David Furnish. After decades of a grueling tour schedule, he wants to focus on being a full-time father, creating memories with his children, and enjoying the quieter aspects of life. Despite retiring from the road, Elton remains actively engaged in music. He continues to collaborate with artists, bridging the gap between classic and contemporary sounds. His recent work with Dua Lipa on Cold Heart, P Now Remix, became a global hit, introducing his music to a new generation of fans while blending his iconic tracks with modern styles. In addition to his contributions to music, Elton is dedicated to philanthropy. The Elton John AIDS Foundation, which he founded in 1992, is one of the most prominent organizations fighting to end the AIDS epidemic. His foundation focuses on providing education, treatment, and advocacy for those affected by the disease, particularly in marginalized communities. Elton's philanthropic work remains a cornerstone of his legacy, demonstrating his commitment to using his platform to make a difference in the world. Looking to the future, Elton has no plans to fully retire from his creative endeavors. While he has stepped away from the demands of touring, he continues to work on projects that fuel his artistic passion. He has hinted at producing new music, supporting young and emerging artists, and potentially expanding his involvement in film and theater. His biopic Rocket Man, released in 2019, not only celebrated his life, but also reignited his interest in storytelling through different mediums. Elton John's legacy shines on through his music, philanthropy, and devotion to his family.
Faster than Usain Bolt, Gout, a teenager from Ipswich, is making headlines around the world.
The world was stunned when, just minutes ago, new evidence was leaked, forever altering the trajectory of Gout's career. The shocking revelation has forced one of the most prominent figures in the field to make a swift and unexpected decision. Gout has been ejected. What led to this abrupt move? Fans and insiders alike are left questioning everything they thought they knew about the rising star. The details surrounding the leak are hazy, but the implications are massive. Gout had been a sensation, rapidly climbing the ranks with every event. His talent and charm made him a fan favorite, and many believed he was on the cusp of greatness. But now, this unexpected twist leaves everything in limbo. The athlete who once seemed invincible now faces the fallout of a scandal that no one saw coming. What could have possibly led to this public ejection? And more importantly, how will this scandal affect the future of his career? Behind the scenes, tensions had been rising, with whispers about potential issues involving Gout's conduct. Fans and critics alike were eager to know what had been going on out of the public eye, but no one anticipated this bombshell. Leaked evidence has not only rocked his world, but also sent shockwaves through the entire industry. This new information changes everything we thought we knew about him, leaving fans in disbelief. As the news spreads, questions swirl. Was this truly an isolated incident, or are there more revelations waiting to be uncovered? Those who once idolized Gout are now grappling with the harsh reality that the man they cheered for may not be the hero they thought he was. The shockwaves are being felt far and wide, and the implications of this event could be catastrophic for his career moving forward. One thing is certain: Gout's ejection is just the beginning. With the leaks revealing critical new evidence, the full story is far from over. Fans and insiders are anxiously awaiting further developments. Will he be able to salvage his reputation, or is this the beginning of the end for one of the brightest stars in the field? The evidence that shocked the world. What exactly was in the leaked evidence that led to Gout's swift and dramatic ejection? The details have left everyone scratching their heads, as the gravity of the situation becomes clearer with each passing minute. The evidence itself appears to be damning. Undeniable proof that forces beyond the athlete's control have now thrust him into a scandal of massive proportions. It's a game changer, and it's sending shockwaves through the industry. The leaked documents contain critical information that puts Gout at the center of a controversy that's shaking the very foundation of his career. His team, once a strong unit of supporters, now faces the pressure of covering up what could be a career-ending mistake. With everything on the line, it's clear that Gout's future is uncertain. Fans have taken to social media, demanding answers, while industry leaders scramble to assess the fallout from this unexpected leak. As the truth unfolds, one thing becomes apparent. This leak isn't just damaging Gout's reputation. It's causing a ripple effect that could impact the entire sector. The new evidence is shedding light on questionable actions and raising uncomfortable questions. Was Gout involved in something far bigger than anyone realized? Was this leak a warning shot, or just the tip of the iceberg? The answers are still unclear, but the road ahead is only getting more perilous. This revelation is far-reaching, with implications that go beyond just the athlete himself. The integrity of the sport is being questioned, and as the evidence continues to leak out, those connected to Gout are being forced to defend their association with him. How will his coaches, sponsors, and peers react to this bombshell? And will Gout be able to turn the tide and reclaim his place, or has the damage already been done? In the days ahead, the full scope of the evidence will likely come to light, and the world will be watching closely. The next chapter in Gout's career may be written in the aftermath of this scandal, but the burning question remains: can he survive this storm, or is this the end of the line? The rumors that sparked the fire. Long before the leaked evidence came to light, there had been whispers. Rumors circulated for months, casting shadows over Gout's seemingly perfect career. People had begun to notice changes, subtle shifts in his behavior, strange interactions behind the scenes, and an overall sense of unease among those closest to him. These rumors, however, were quickly dismissed by many as mere gossip. But as it turns out, they were the first signs of something far more serious. The whispers grew louder, with industry insiders speculating that Gout might not be the clean-cut star he appeared to be. Despite his stellar performance on the track, there were growing concerns about his personal life, his conduct, and his relationships with those in charge. What began as small rumors soon turned into full-blown concerns, and some began to wonder whether Gout's rise to fame had been too good to be true. For those who had been paying attention, the leaked evidence didn't come as a total surprise. In fact, many insiders had been bracing themselves for something major to break. The question was never if, but when. And when the truth finally came out, it was bigger than anyone had imagined. The rumors had been the precursor to a much larger story that was now unraveling in real time. As the details of the scandal continue to emerge, one thing is clear. The rumors that surrounded Gout were not baseless. They were a prelude to the truth that has now come crashing down. What had been seen as mere speculation is now backed by hard evidence, and the consequences of this revelation are massive. The truth, it seems, was hiding in plain sight all along. The impact of these rumors is undeniable, and as the truth comes to light, many are left wondering if they missed the signs all along. Gout's image has been irreparably tarnished, and the world is left to ask, how did it come to this? Was this inevitable? Or is there more to the story than meets the eye? The fallout. Since the new evidence was leaked, the fallout has been nothing short of catastrophic for Gout. What was once a promising career filled with victory and glory is now in jeopardy. Sponsors have distanced themselves, fans have turned their backs, and the media has been relentless in its coverage of his fall from grace. The question now is, can Gout rebuild from this, or has his career been permanently damaged? For an athlete of Gout's stature, the damage is more than just professional. His personal life is under the microscope, and every move he makes is being scrutinized. The once beloved star is now a target, and the pressure to maintain his reputation has never been more intense. Each day that passes without a clear resolution only deepens the uncertainty surrounding his future in the sport. The repercussions are felt far beyond just Gout himself. His team, his sponsors, and even his family are all caught in the crossfire. Those who supported him through thick and thin are now forced to face the uncomfortable reality of the situation. The leak has exposed more than just Gout's mistakes. It's also brought to light the vulnerabilities within the system that allowed such actions to take place. Industry leaders are already taking steps to distance themselves from Gout. Some are calling for a complete overhaul of the way the sport is governed, while others are simply trying to save face. But one thing is certain. This scandal has forced everyone involved to confront uncomfortable truths about the world of professional athletics. As the pressure mounts, Gout faces a tough road ahead. Will he be able to salvage his career and repair his damaged reputation? Or is this the beginning of the end for a once promising athlete? The next few weeks will determine his fate, and the world will be watching to see if he can rise from the ashes of this scandal. The legal battle looms. As the truth about Gout's actions slowly unfolds, the legal repercussions are starting to take shape. What was once a career characterized by victory and public admiration is now tangled in a web of legal uncertainty. The leaked evidence has set off a chain reaction, and now Gout is facing mounting legal pressure. The leaked documents have already been reviewed by lawyers, and it's clear that this won't be an easy fight for him. Gout's team has hired top-tier legal representation, but even the best lawyers know that this case is no ordinary lawsuit. The evidence is damning, and the fallout from the scandal could lead to more than just personal consequences. With his reputation shattered and public opinion turning against him, Gout could face fines, suspension, or worse. Legal experts believe this case could set a precedent for how the industry deals with misconduct. The legal battle isn't just about the athlete himself. It also involves the institutions and organizations that helped elevate Gout to stardom. Sponsors, event organizers, and even fellow athletes may be called to testify, each adding another layer of complexity to the case. The ripple effect of this scandal is far-reaching, and many are starting to wonder if this could lead to a full-scale investigation into the larger practices surrounding track and field athletes. For now, Gout is preparing for the storm ahead. His legal team is building a defense, but they know that winning this case will require more than just clever arguments. It will take a complete reconstruction of his public image, which may be even harder to achieve. As the case progresses, it seems increasingly likely that this legal battle will overshadow any remaining glimmer of his former glory. With the stakes higher than ever, the world is watching closely. Will Gout's legal team be able to pull off a miraculous defense? Or will he be forced to face the consequences of his actions? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the legal ramifications of this scandal are just beginning to unfold. Public outrage. The news of Gout's ejection has caused an uproar among his fans, many of whom are still reeling from the shock of the leaked evidence. What had once been an image of a hard-working, talented athlete is now being questioned at every turn. Public outrage is rising, with fans and critics alike demanding answers from both the athlete and the organizations involved. But can Gout regain the trust of those who once supported him? Social media has exploded with criticism. Fans are sharing their disbelief, calling for accountability, and questioning the integrity of the sport itself. Some are even going as far as to say that Gout should never be allowed to compete again. The anger and confusion surrounding the situation have divided the fan base, with some trying to defend the athlete, while others feel betrayed by the very person they once admired. The public backlash is not just online, it's happening in real time at events. As Gout competes, the crowd's energy has noticeably shifted. No longer is he met with cheers and applause. Now, he faces the uncomfortable silence of an audience unsure of what to believe. The ejection has stripped away the aura of invincibility that once surrounded him. And now he must contend with the harsh reality that not everyone is ready to forgive or forget. In an attempt to calm the storm, Gout has made several public statements, but they've done little to quell the fire. His apologies have been met with skepticism, and many are demanding more than just words. They want actions. Some fans are even calling for a formal apology to the sport, and others are pushing for transparency regarding the circumstances surrounding the leak. But will Gout be able to turn this around? Or is the damage to his reputation too severe to overcome? The path to redemption for Gout is a long and difficult one. Regaining public trust may be his toughest challenge yet, and the question remains whether he can come back from this scandal. Fans are watching, and the pressure is mounting as the days go by. The impact on his sponsors and career. For an athlete like Gout, the collapse of his reputation doesn't just affect his personal life, it also has profound financial consequences. Sponsors, once eager to associate with his name, are now distancing themselves, worried about the potential backlash from being linked to someone embroiled in such a scandal. In the world of professional athletics, image is everything, and Gout's once pristine brand is now tarnished beyond recognition. Top-tier companies who once showered Gout with endorsement deals are now rethinking their partnerships. They've been quick to cut ties, worried that any association with him could hurt their own public image. From high-end sports brands to fitness companies, many have already pulled out of their sponsorships, leaving Gout with a shrinking roster of partners. This sudden shift is devastating for an athlete whose income was heavily reliant on these deals. The impact extends beyond just sponsorships. Gout had been on the fast track to becoming a household name, and his commercial prospects were once endless. But now, doors are closing. Brand deals and future opportunities are slipping away, and his financial future hangs in the balance. This could be the beginning of the end for the lucrative career that Gout had built. Without the support of sponsors, his financial independence and ability to continue competing at the highest level are in jeopardy. For an athlete at the peak of their career, losing sponsorship deals is one of the most painful blows. Not only does it affect their finances, but it also sends a message to the world about their worth. Gout is now fighting not just for his career, but for his livelihood. The next few weeks will be critical in determining whether he can recover financially or if he will fade into obscurity. As the financial repercussions of the scandal unfold, Gout is facing a harsh reality. With sponsors pulling away and his reputation in tatters, he's left scrambling to pick up the pieces of his once promising career. Will he be able to secure new opportunities, or is the damage irreversible? The athlete's road to redemption. Can Gout come back from the devastating scandal? While it may seem impossible, history has shown that athletes can sometimes redeem themselves after public controversies. The road to redemption will not be easy, but it's not out of reach. Gout has already started to take steps toward reclaiming his reputation. His legal team is working tirelessly to address the accusations, and his publicist is scrambling to repair the damage done by the leaks. The first step in his redemption will be addressing the root cause of the scandal. Gout must show the public that he is genuinely remorseful and committed to making amends. A public apology is expected, but it will have to be more than just words. Actions will speak louder than anything else at this point. He will need to show that he is taking steps to improve himself both personally and professionally. Additionally, Gout will have to find ways to reconnect with his fan base. Public gestures, charity work, and community outreach could be key in rebuilding his image. Fans may be willing to forgive, but they need to see genuine effort on his part to make things right. Only time will tell if he can win back their trust. The second major challenge will be reclaiming his spot in the professional arena. Even if he can regain public support, Gout must prove that he still has the talent and work ethic that made him a star in the first place. His next race will be crucial in determining whether he can continue competing at the highest level or if his time in the spotlight is over. Redemption is a long road, and it's unclear whether Gout will be able to navigate it successfully. But with determination, humility, and a solid strategy, he may yet find his way back into the hearts of fans and the good graces of the industry. The bigger picture. Industry repercussions. The Gout scandal has raised important questions about the wider world of professional athletics. Beyond the personal fallout for the athlete himself, the entire industry is being forced to take a long, hard look at its practices. From sponsorship deals to athlete management, the leak has exposed vulnerabilities that could lead to significant changes in how things are done in the future. Industry leaders are now grappling with how to prevent similar scandals from affecting other athletes. The integrity of the sport is being questioned, and there are calls for greater transparency and accountability. Some critics argue that the system of managing athletes and their personal lives is outdated and needs to evolve. This scandal may very well be a turning point for the entire industry. Sports organizations and governing bodies are facing increased pressure to ensure that athletes are held to the highest standards of conduct. Whether this leads to stricter regulations or a complete overhaul of how athletes are managed remains to be seen. What is clear is that the status quo is no longer acceptable, and change is on the horizon. The repercussions of Gout's ejection are still unfolding, and it's likely that the industry will continue to feel the effects for years to come. The leak has opened a Pandora's box, and now everyone is left scrambling to find solutions. The challenge is not just for Gout, but for the entire field of athletics, which is now under intense scrutiny. With the future of the sport hanging in the balance, it's clear that this scandal has far-reaching consequences. Will the industry be able to weather the storm? Or will this mark a permanent shift in how professional athletics are managed? What's next for Gout? As the dust begins to settle and the public eye shifts elsewhere, the lingering question remains. What's next for Gout? The athlete, once at the pinnacle of his sport, has now been ejected from the scene, leaving fans, critics, and even his team speculating about his future. The scandal that has surrounded him has left his career hanging by a thread. While many believe his reputation is irreparably damaged, others wonder if he still has a chance to make a comeback. His next steps are crucial, and they will dictate whether he can rebuild his public image or fade into the shadows, a casualty of his own mistakes. Gout now faces a critical juncture in his career, where everything he has worked for is at stake. The athlete has spent years cultivating a brand built on athleticism, charisma, and success. But with the leaks exposing his flaws, all of that is in jeopardy. His path forward will hinge on several factors, including his ability to fight the legal battles that have emerged, how the public receives his apologies, if any, and whether he can show true personal growth. The weight of this situation isn't just on his legal team, it falls squarely on his shoulders too. His decisions in the coming months will likely define whether he can claw his way back to the top or if his career is destined for an early exit. One of the most immediate factors that will influence Gout's future is his ongoing legal battle. The case has already made headlines, and as the legal proceedings unfold, the pressure on him will only increase. How he handles the legal ramifications of this scandal will be a key part of his story. If he can navigate the courts successfully and avoid significant penalties or sanctions, he could regain some of the respect he lost. But if the legal storm intensifies, it may lead to a suspension, a fine, or even permanent exclusion from his sport. In a world where athletes' actions off the field often shape their career more than what they do on it, Gout's ability to manage this legal situation could either make or break his career. Equally important is Gout's relationship with the public. While some fans may forgive him and continue supporting his efforts, others may turn their backs on him, feeling betrayed by the man they once admired. Public perception is a fickle thing, especially in the age of social media, where every misstep is amplified. Gout has always been an athlete who thrived under the spotlight, and now, the spotlight is a double-edged sword. He will have to navigate the court of public opinion carefully. Rebuilding trust is a monumental task. If he can show humility, take accountability, and prove that he is genuinely remorseful, there may be a way forward. However, if his response is seen as self-serving or dismissive, his reputation may be irreversibly damaged. But the challenge isn't just about repairing his image, it's about personal growth. The struggles Gout has faced throughout this ordeal are not just external, they are internal too. How he responds emotionally and mentally to this scandal will play a significant role in his ability to move forward. If he can reflect on his mistakes, learn from them, and emerge as a more grounded individual, he might be able to revive his career. But if he succumbs to the pressures or fails to address the root causes of his behavior, the scandal could follow him for the rest of his life. The world is watching with bated breath, eagerly awaiting Gout's next move. Can he pull off a miraculous comeback? Or will this scandal define him for the rest of his career? His legal battles, public perception, and personal growth are all intertwined, and each step he takes will be scrutinized by millions. The road ahead is certainly paved with obstacles, and while there is still hope for redemption, it's unclear whether Gout will have what it takes to overcome them. Only time will tell, and Gout will need to act quickly if he hopes to avoid becoming another cautionary tale in the world of sports. The coming months will be crucial in determining Gout's future, and the pressure is on for him to make the right moves. Will he rise from the ashes, or will this scandal define the end of his career? Only time will reveal what happens next. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates.
What is happening with Charlie Woods lately? And what's on the horizon for this young talent in the future?
The restaurant buzzed with its usual chaos, plates clinking, orders being shouted, and customers lost in their meals. Among the sea of faces, one stood out, a young boy with a familiar presence. Charlie Woods, the rising golf prodigy, sat quietly, waiting for his order. When a simple act of kindness from a waitress led to her losing her job, it seemed like the end of the line for her. But what happened the next day wasn't just unexpected. It was life-changing. Simone's life and backstory. Simone was a woman many people could relate to, hardworking, loving, and always putting others before herself. She was a single mother in her early 30s, raising a bright-eyed 7-year-old boy named Elijah. Life hadn't been easy for Simone, but she carried on with resilience and grace, determined to give her son a better future. Her days were long and exhausting as she juggled 2 jobs to make ends meet. During the mornings, she worked part-time as a cashier at a local grocery store. In the evenings, she pulled long shifts as a waitress at an upscale restaurant in the heart of the city. The restaurant where Simone worked was a place where the wealthy dined, often hosting celebrities, athletes, and high-profile business people. For Simone, this job was both a blessing and a challenge. It paid better than most waitressing jobs in the area, which was crucial for covering her rent, Elijah's school fees, and medical bills for her elderly mother, who lived with them and needed frequent care. But working there wasn't easy. The restaurant's high standards meant Simone had to be on her feet for hours, juggling multiple tables, memorizing complicated orders, and maintaining a polished demeanor no matter how difficult the customers were. Simone's workplace wasn't free from challenges beyond the physical demands. As one of the few black employees in the restaurant, she often felt the sting of discrimination, both subtle and overt. While some of her co-workers were friendly and supportive, others treated her with indifference or outright hostility. She'd overheard whispered comments questioning her competence, and had noticed how she was often given the least desirable shifts or tables. The management wasn't much better. Her boss was quick to criticize and slow to praise, often ignoring her hard work while openly commending others. Despite these challenges, Simone took pride in her job. She had a natural warmth and empathy that made her popular with many of the regular customers. People appreciated her genuine smile, attentive service, and ability to make anyone feel at home, no matter who they were. To Simone, every diner was important, whether they were a billionaire CEO or a couple celebrating their anniversary on a tight budget. Her kindness wasn't a tactic, it was who she was. At home, Simone was equally dedicated. After her shifts, she would come home late at night, often too tired to do much more than tuck Elijah into bed and sit for a few moments with her mother. She rarely had time for herself, but she never complained. Her love for her family kept her going, even on the The world is stunned as new revelations emerge from within the royal family. Princess Charlotte, just a young voice in the monarchy, has spoken up, and her words have sent shockwaves through the palace walls. What she revealed about Princess Diana isn't just unexpected. It's something the royals have fought to keep hidden for decades. The truth is out, and it's far from the fairy tale image they've worked so hard to protect. Princess Diana's legacy. Princess Diana, often called the People's Princess, wasn't born into royalty, but she seemed destined to change it forever. Born Diana Frances Spencer on July 1st, 1961, she was the fourth of 5 children in a noble family. From an early age, Diana was surrounded by the grandeur of aristocracy, yet she possessed an extraordinary ability to connect with ordinary people. This rare quality would later become her defining trait as a royal. Her marriage to Prince Charles in 1981 was a global spectacle. Over 750 million people watched her walk down the aisle in what many called the fairy tale wedding. But as we now know, behind the glittering tiara and that iconic dress lay a deeply human woman, grappling with challenges that would soon make her story both heart-wrenching and inspirational. What made Diana unforgettable wasn't her royal title or her beauty. It was her heart. She didn't just wear a crown. She carried the weight of the world's most vulnerable on her shoulders. Diana wasn't content with cutting ribbons and waving from balconies. She wanted to make a real difference. From the start, she gravitated toward causes that many royals would have considered taboo or uncomfortable. And she didn't just lend her name to these causes. She immersed herself fully, often putting herself in situations that shocked the world. One of her most groundbreaking efforts was her work with HIV/AIDS awareness in the 1980s. At the time, there was widespread fear and stigma surrounding the disease. Many believed it could be transmitted through casual contact, and those suffering from it were often shunned by society. But Diana, with her characteristic empathy, did something revolutionary. In 1987, she visited the London Middlesex Hospital and was photographed shaking hands with an AIDS patient without wearing gloves. That single act sent a powerful message. Compassion is more important than fear. The image was broadcast around the world, breaking down barriers and challenging misconceptions about the disease. It wasn't just a photo op. It was a moment that redefined how society viewed both AIDS patients and the role of the royal family in addressing modern issues. And just when the world thought they had seen the extent of her courage, Diana stepped onto another battlefield. This time, quite literally. In 1997, just months before her tragic death, Diana made headlines for her work in landmine clearance. She traveled to Angola with the Halo Trust, an organization dedicated to removing landmines from war-torn areas. Wearing a protective vest and helmet, she walked through an active minefield, a scene that became one of the most iconic images of her humanitarian career. Her efforts brought global attention to the devastating impact of landmines on civilians, especially children. Diana's advocacy played a crucial role in the eventual signing of the Ottawa Treaty, which banned the use of anti-personnel landmines. While she didn't live to see the treaty come into force, her work laid the foundation for this monumental achievement. But it wasn't just these high-profile causes that defined Diana's humanitarian legacy. She championed countless other initiatives, from supporting homeless youth and cancer patients to comforting those affected by leprosy. Her approach was always deeply personal. She didn't just donate money or make speeches. She showed up. Diana's willingness to touch the untouchable, to listen to the unheard, made her a beacon of hope for millions. Diana wasn't just a princess who cared. She was a force of nature, determined to change the world, one act of kindness at a time. Diana's influence didn't stop at her charitable work. It extended to the royal family itself. Before Diana, the British monarchy often seemed distant and untouchable, almost like an institution rather than a family. But Diana changed that. She brought humanity to the monarchy, showing the world that royals could be vulnerable, emotional, and above all, relatable. One of the most significant ways Diana transformed the royal image was through her approach to motherhood. Unlike traditional royal parenting practices, which often involved a distant relationship between parents and children, Diana was hands-on. She broke protocol by taking her young sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, on official tours, and exposing them to the realities of life outside palace walls. She was famously photographed waiting in line at amusement parks with her boys, dropping them off at school, and even taking them to shelters and hospitals. Diana wanted her children to understand both their privilege and their responsibility to help others. It's no wonder that William and Harry have continued to carry forward her legacy in their own philanthropic endeavors. But Diana's impact on the royal family wasn't just about modern parenting. It was about modernizing the monarchy itself. Her openness about her struggles, including her battles with bulimia and her troubled marriage, shattered the royal family's image of perfection. For the first time, the public saw a royal as a real person, with flaws, fears, and feelings. While this openness created tensions within the family, it also forged an unbreakable bond between Diana and the public. Even decades after her passing, Princess Diana remains one of the most beloved figures in history. Her funeral in 1997 was watched by over 2.5 billion people worldwide, a testament to the profound impact she had on people from all walks of life. But why does her legacy endure? Part of it lies in her ability to connect with people on a deeply emotional level. Diana wasn't just admired, she was loved. Her kindness, vulnerability, and courage resonated with millions, creating a legacy that transcends time. Today, we see Diana's influence everywhere, from her son's dedication to mental health advocacy to the way her grandchildren, including Princess Charlotte, are being raised with a focus on compassion and service. The world may have lost Diana too soon, but her spirit lives on, not just in her family, but in the countless lives she touched through her work. Diana's story is more than just history. It's a blueprint for how one person can change the world. The public fascination with Diana and Charlotte. Princess Diana captured the world's attention with her grace, kindness, and revolutionary approach to royal life. Decades later, the fascination with her legacy lives on, spilling over into the lives of her grandchildren, most notably, Princess Charlotte. The media has become a powerful bridge connecting Diana's timeless charisma to the budding personality of her granddaughter, weaving a narrative that keeps the world hooked. Is Princess Charlotte the true heir to Diana's enduring charm? From the moment Princess Charlotte was born in 2015, comparisons to her late grandmother were inevitable. As the only daughter of Prince William and Kate Middleton, Charlotte not only carries Diana's name, but also symbolizes a fresh chapter of hope in the royal family. Her full name, Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, was seen as a direct homage to her grandmother, a name that immediately set the tone for how she would be perceived by the public. The world is naturally curious about Charlotte, not just because of her royal status, but because she embodies a sense of continuity for Diana's legacy. Every gesture, smile, and wave from the young princess is scrutinized and adored, and it doesn't take long for comparisons to Diana to surface. But why exactly is Princess Charlotte's every move seen as a reflection of Diana? Let's explore this phenomenon that has everyone talking. The media has played a significant role in nurturing the connection between Princess Diana and Princess Charlotte. Tabloids, magazines, and social media platforms are quick to highlight the smallest similarities, whether in their expressions, mannerisms, or even their style. The press has often referred to Charlotte as a mini Diana, especially when she shows a touch of sass or spontaneity during public appearances. For example, during the late Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee celebrations, Charlotte was seen correcting her brother Prince George with a cheeky expression. That moment quickly went viral, with headlines likening her boldness to Diana's fearless attitude in breaking royal norms. Similarly, photographs of Charlotte waving to crowds often draw comparisons to Diana's famous ability to connect with people effortlessly. The royal family is famously reserved, but Princess Charlotte's occasional candid moments, like sticking her tongue out at an event or whispering something amusing to her brothers, remind people of Diana's warmth and relatability. The media amplifies these moments, creating a narrative that Charlotte is not just a royal but a person with personality, much like her grandmother was. But it's not just personality. There's more to this connection that keeps the public intrigued. What's remarkable about Princess Charlotte is how she has already become a figure of immense interest at such a young age. Much like Diana, who redefined what it meant to be a royal, Charlotte is seen as someone who could bring a fresh perspective to the monarchy in the future. Diana was known for breaking the mold. She was hands-on, empathetic, and deeply connected to ordinary people. While it's too early to say how Charlotte will shape her royal role, there are signs that she is being raised with those same values. The public has taken note of how Prince William and Kate Middleton emphasize kindness and humility in their parenting, values that Diana championed. There's also the matter of how Charlotte carries herself in public. Despite being only a child, she exudes a certain poise that captures people's hearts. At King Charles III's coronation, Charlotte wore a beautiful white dress with a silver headpiece, walking hand in hand with her younger brother Louis. Many compared her to Diana, not just in her elegance, but in the way she seemed calm and composed under immense public scrutiny. The public fascination with Charlotte as a potential royal icon also stems from her unique position in the royal family. She's the first royal daughter to retain her place in the line of succession, regardless of having younger brothers, thanks to a 2013 change in succession laws. This historical milestone adds another layer of interest, positioning Charlotte as a symbol of progress within the monarchy. But how has the media's narrative shaped the way we perceive Charlotte and her connection to Diana? The headlines surrounding Princess Charlotte often focus on her as the heir to Diana's legacy, even if only symbolically. For example, when Charlotte was photographed comforting her younger brother Louis during Trooping the Color, tabloids were quick to call her a caring soul like her grandmother. These small yet poignant moments become fodder for media outlets looking to draw parallels between two very different eras of the royal family. In 2019, Charlotte was spotted at a polo match wearing a blue floral dress. Social media erupted with side-by-side photos of Diana wearing a similar dress during a casual outing in the 1980s. While the similarity was purely coincidental, it became a headline. Princess Charlotte channels Diana's iconic style. These comparisons, while sometimes superficial, keep the memory of Diana alive in the public consciousness. Another example came when Charlotte attended a Christmas Day church service with her family. Her confident stride and bright smile led commentators to describe her as having Diana's magnetic presence. It's these kinds of observations, whether grounded in fact or emotion, that fuel the fascination and ensure that Diana's spirit remains intertwined with Charlotte's story. And it's not just the headlines. Charlotte's growing presence is shaping the narrative of the modern royal family. Princess Charlotte represents a new generation of royals who live in a world vastly different from Diana's. Social media ensures that every moment of Charlotte's life is documented and dissected, creating a level of accessibility that Diana never had. This increased visibility makes the connection between Diana and Charlotte feel even more tangible to the public. Charlotte is part of a family that has openly embraced Diana's values of compassion and community service. Prince William, in particular, often speaks about his mother's impact on his life and how he aims to pass her lessons on to his children. This intentional continuation of Diana's legacy ensures that her influence is felt in every step Charlotte takes, whether or not she consciously realizes it yet. While the comparisons between Diana and Charlotte may sometimes feel speculative, they reflect a deeper truth. The world wants to see Diana's legacy carried forward. Princess Charlotte is not just a beloved young royal. She is a symbol of hope, continuity, and the enduring power of Diana's influence. So, is Princess Charlotte truly Diana's mirror? perhaps it's not about being the same person, but about carrying the same light. And that's something the world will always cherish. The connection between Princess Diana and her grandchildren, Prince William and Prince Harry, were just 15 and 12 years old, respectively, when they lost their mother in that tragic car crash in 1997. Despite their immense grief, Diana's influence has been the guiding light in their lives. Over the years, they have taken several heartfelt steps to ensure her legacy isn't forgotten, not just by the public, but also by their own families. One of the most notable ways they've honored her is through the Diana Memorial Fund, which was established shortly after her death. The fund supported causes close to Diana's heart, such as landmine clearance, HIV/AIDS awareness, and helping disadvantaged communities. This initiative wasn't just about preserving her name, but continuing the meaningful work she started. Another touching tribute is the statue of Diana at Kensington Palace, unveiled by William and Harry in 2021. The statue captures her surrounded by children, symbolizing her commitment to young people and her nurturing spirit. When the brothers spoke at the event, their words were full of love and admiration, showing the world how much they still hold onto her memory. But the tributes don't stop there. Over the years, both William and Harry have shared intimate details about their mother in interviews, giving the public a rare glimpse into Diana's private world. Harry once described her as the best mother in the world, and spoke about how she showered him and William with love. William, in turn, has often mentioned how he strives to instill her values in his own children. Now, here's where it gets even more emotional. Diana's legacy doesn't just live in stories or statues. It lives in the very names and lives of her grandchildren. Princess Charlotte, born in May 2015, became an instant symbol of hope and joy for royal fans. But her name carries a legacy far deeper than it seems at first glance. Her full name, Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, is a direct nod to her grandmother, Princess Diana. The inclusion of Diana in Charlotte's name was a heartfelt gesture by Prince William and Kate Middleton. It wasn't just a name, it was a statement. It was their way of saying that Diana's memory is alive and well within their family. This tribute is even more meaningful because it connects Diana to a new generation, one that never had the chance to meet her but will forever carry her influence. Charlotte is not the only one with this honor. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle also paid tribute to Diana by naming their daughter Lilibet Diana. Clearly, both William and Harry are determined to ensure their mother's name remains cherished within the family. As Princess Charlotte grows, royal watchers can't help but notice how she seems to embody some of Diana's qualities. Though she's only a child, there's a sense of poise and confidence about her that reminds people of Diana's natural grace. Charlotte has already made headlines for her charm and maturity during public appearances. Whether it's her playful waves to the crowd or her polite interactions with adults, she exudes a presence that captivates. At the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, for example, Charlotte showed a mix of confidence and curiosity that royal fans couldn't stop talking about. It's these little moments that remind us of Diana, who had a similar ability to connect with people effortlessly. And let's not forget how Charlotte is being raised. Both William and Kate are deeply committed to giving their children a sense of normalcy, a value Diana fiercely protected for William and Harry. Charlotte, along with her brothers George and Louis, attends public events, but is also encouraged to have a private, grounded life. This balance is something Diana worked hard to achieve for her own boys, often taking them on outings to amusement parks or fast food restaurants to give them a taste of the real world. It's almost as if Diana's parenting philosophy is being passed down like a treasured family heirloom. And it's not just Charlotte who benefits from this legacy. Her brothers are also carrying the torch. Prince William has often spoken about how his mother's love and compassion guide his own parenting style. He and Kate prioritize teaching their children the importance of kindness, empathy, and public service, all values Diana championed throughout her life. For example, William and Kate have involved their children in charity work from a young age. Princess Charlotte has been seen helping with food donations during the COVID-19 pandemic, a small but significant step toward understanding the importance of helping others. Similarly, the children are being taught to respect people from all walks of life, much like how Diana would take William and Harry to visit homeless shelters and hospitals, to show them a world beyond the palace walls. Another poignant example of Diana's influence is the way the family keeps her memory alive. William has mentioned that he talks about Diana to his children, ensuring they know who their grandmother was and what she stood for. He's shared that he often plays Elton John's "Candle in the Wind," the song dedicated to Diana, as a way of introducing her legacy to his kids. Think about that. Princess Charlotte growing up hearing stories about her grandmother's bravery and compassion. Isn't it heartwarming to imagine how these stories might shape her as a future royal leader? Princess Diana's legacy is far too powerful to fade with time. It lives on in her sons, and even more importantly, in her grandchildren. Through names, values, and actions, Princess Charlotte and her brothers are carrying forward the torch that Diana lit decades ago. For Princess Charlotte, in particular, the connection to Diana is deeply symbolic. As she grows, she is not just a young royal, but a living tribute to a grandmother she never met but whose impact will guide her every step of the way. And so, the story of Diana doesn't end. It evolves. It continues to inspire, to teach, and to remind us all of the enduring power of love and compassion. Isn't that the true mark of a legacy? Princess Charlotte's role in the royal family. With every smile, wave, and cheeky moment, Princess Charlotte is capturing hearts around the globe. But what does her role as a royal mean for the future of the monarchy? Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana was born on May 2nd, 2015, at the Lindo wing of St. Mary's Hospital in London. From the moment her birth was announced, the world was captivated. She was the second child and only daughter of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, then the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. What made her arrival so monumental was her place in history. Charlotte is the first princess in the British royal family who will not lose her spot in the line of succession to a younger brother, thanks to the Succession to the Crown Act 2013. This law ensured that gender would no longer determine a royal's place in line, placing her fourth, after her grandfather King Charles III, her father Prince William, and her older brother Prince George. This marked a subtle but significant shift in the monarchy's adaptation to modern values of gender equality. Even as a newborn, Princess Charlotte was already a symbol of change within the royal family. Charlotte's birth didn't just bring joy to her family. It quietly rewrote centuries of royal tradition. But how does this trailblazing young princess fit into today's monarchy? From her early days, Princess Charlotte has displayed a personality that has endeared her to the public. Whether she's confidently waving to crowds or delivering a perfectly timed sassy remark, Charlotte has consistently shown she's comfortable in the spotlight. Take her first major public appearance outside the hospital, wrapped snugly in a white shawl. She was a picture of innocence, but her family's excitement hinted that this tiny princess was destined to make a big impact. As she grew older, her appearances became even more memorable. One standout moment was in 2018, when Charlotte stole the show at her Uncle Harry and Aunt Meghan's royal wedding. Clad in a charming white bridesmaid dress and floral crown, she confidently waved at the crowds, showing a natural ease in the spotlight. That moment sparked comparisons to her grandmother, Princess Diana, whose own warmth and charm won over millions. Princess Charlotte's role as a young royal became even more prominent during events like the Platinum Jubilee and the coronation of her grandfather, King Charles III. At the Platinum Jubilee in 2022, the world saw a side of Charlotte that was both relatable and poised. While sitting with her family during the celebrations, she gently corrected her younger brother, Prince Louis, in a way that showed she's already taking her role as a responsible sibling seriously. It wasn't just cute, it was a glimpse of her leadership potential. The scene went viral, sparking admiration and some laughter from the public. Similarly, during King Charles III's coronation, Charlotte made headlines once again. Dressed in an elegant white cape and floral headpiece, she looked like a mini royal icon in the making. Walking hand in hand with her little brother Louis, she projected calmness and maturity well beyond her years. This was a big moment for the young princess, marking her growing responsibilities in the family. From playful waves to poised appearances, Charlotte's growing role is undeniable. But how does her charm connect to the legacy of her iconic grandmother, Princess Diana? Princess Charlotte's mannerisms and charm often remind people of Princess Diana. While Charlotte has never met her late grandmother, the comparisons come naturally. Diana was known for her ability to connect with people, making them feel seen and valued. Charlotte, even at a young age, has shown hints of this same ability. During public engagements, Charlotte doesn't just follow along, she actively engages. Whether she's waving to crowds or showing genuine curiosity, there's a warmth in her interactions. For example, at Trooping the Color in 2019, Charlotte delighted spectators with her enthusiastic waving from the Buckingham Palace balcony. It was a moment that showed her natural affinity for connecting with the public, much like Diana did throughout her life. Charlotte's relatable moments also win her fans. From making funny faces during events to playfully sticking out her tongue at a regatta, Charlotte has a knack for balancing royal etiquette with a touch of mischief. These moments, far from detracting from her role, make her more relatable, an invaluable trait for a modern royal. The royal family's carefully guarded image may never be the same after this. Princess Charlotte's words have opened the door to questions no one ever dared to ask before. What does this mean for the future of the monarchy? How will the world react to these revelations about Diana? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like this video if you found it intriguing. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next in this unfolding royal saga.